According to research, about half of the population of our planet Earth are carriers of fungi. And that would be all right because the immune system of a healthy person copes quite well with pathogenic organisms. But the problem is that some fungi, unfortunately, sometimes manage to dig in securely and gain a foothold. And the fungus affects not only our skin or nails, but also affects internal organs. Where does this fungus come from? It can enter our body, for example, with food and with breathing, that is, with dust. Of course, sexually, or even as a result of using other people's things, that is, by contact. It must be said that the fungus is not just a cosmetic defect. The fact is that in a human body that is infected with a fungal infection, toxic toxins can accumulate that can spread through the bloodstream throughout the body and to other organs. And what can be done about it, of course, if a serious illness has already happened, then you need to contact a specialist. But it is also worth knowing about prevention, because prevention is our everything. In this video, I've collected basic information about what you need to know, as well as the main measures that need to be taken and the products that need to be eaten. So in this video, I decided to make such a purposeful selection. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't miss our video. And so what are the main symptoms of fungal lesions? The first and most noticeable fungal lesion of the legs begins with peeling and dryness of the feet. Itching and redness may also bother you, and bubbles may form between your fingers. Also, the fungus can affect toenails, and they can change their shape, begin to crumble, crack, thicken, divide into layers, and the most insidious thing is that the spores of the fungus on the nails can live up to several years. Another symptom of the lesion is the manifestation of a ring-shaped red rash on our skin, on our face, arms, legs, and other exposed areas. It can also be stomatitis, the appearance of a white plaque on the mucous membrane of our mouth. Of course, the famous thrush, which can be accompanied by itching and discharge, and I must say that these are the most obvious symptoms that are immediately noticeable without an armed glance. And what is your prevention, and how can this be countered? Firstly, if you visit any public baths, shower pools, never go barefoot there. Literally, in no case, always wear flip-flops or slippers. Moreover, it is not even recommended to hang a towel on a hook with which you will wipe your naked body. Because the fungus can be found not only on the ground but also on the walls. If it's a wet sauna, a shower room, it's a hotbed of fungal infections. But if you dropped your panties on this wet floor, would you put them on? Well, maybe someone would, for example, no. But now imagine with a towel, it also comes into direct contact with a wall that is also wet and which may also be fungal. And then we wipe our body with it. Therefore, it is optimal, of course, to keep towels in a bag and hang the bag on a hook, or keep it in a clean, dry locker room. You should also treat any frames and damage to the skin with disinfection, that is, either with an antiseptic or an alcohol napkin, or wash with soap. When buying shoes, you should give preference to natural materials, leather, fabric, or suede, because synthetic materials can serve as a breeding ground for fungal infections. It's definitely worth reminding someone about it. It is not necessary, but someone needs to wash regularly. Do not wear other people's clothes, other people's socks, and other people's slippers. Do not use other people's towels, much less other people's washcloths. A washcloth is generally a breeding ground for bacteria, and also not to use other people's combs. Going further, the next point is our nutrition to counteract and prevent fungal infections. Of course, our diet strongly affects the ability of our immune system to resist the pathogen, which is necessary to include in our diet, first of all, garlic. Because garlic is a plant that contains allicin, it is very effective and antifungal. It is often said about garlic that it is an excellent improvement of our immunity, so if you eat 1 clove of garlic a day, it will be a very good prevention of infections. The next item is cinnamon and cloves. They also have very good antifungal properties of the oil. Carnations can even be used by applying to the affected areas. The next product is ginger root, and it strengthens our immune system very well and also has an antifungal effect. One of the very good ways to consume ginger root is to brew tea with it. Formally, It may not even be tea. A ginger drink is when we just grate ginger, brew it in boiling water, and add some ingredients to taste, maybe berries and honey and so on. It turns out to be a very tasty and healthy drink. The next product is carrot juice, and it works very well with fungus in the area of our oral mucosa. Separately, it is worth mentioning about fermented milk products. Of course, high-quality fermented milk products have a very good effect on our immunity through the microflora. I must say that the microflora and healthy intestines provide up to 80% of our immune function, so natural yogurts, natural kefir, and our allies. And of course, vegetables will stand apart from sauerkraut, especially natural sauerkraut without additives, without sugar. Horseradish will also work very well, which stabilizes our defenses, which is useful for our immunity. And in general, many vegetables, both raw and boiled, will support the protective functions of our body. But what products should be avoided on the contrary, especially if we already have a fungal infection that we are treating? So of course, first of all, we have alcohol. Second of all, we should give up edible pastries and white bread in general. It is better to give up bread altogether. As an exception, you can use yeast-free. It is also worth giving up sugar, various cakes of sweets and chocolate, cakes, ice cream. All this is very tasty and wonderful, but not very healthy, as well as for the whole body. So in the case of fungal infection, in particular, vinegar sauces and marinades should be minimized. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts will still help very well. The fact is that they contain a very good dose of sulfur and nitrogen compounds, and they, in turn, are very unfavorable for fungal infections. And one very important explanation that I can't help but say, don't self-medicate. If the case is gaining serious momentum, of course, you always need to contact a specialist to receive qualified help. The measures described here are very good for prevention in order to avoid more severe consequences in the future, so a reasonable approach is needed in everything. By the way, friends, or maybe you already had some experience of interacting with fungal infections and you want to share it, maybe you have something to tell, by all means share the comments, because this can turn out to be a very interesting discussion. And now like and subscribe to my channel, and see you with you